Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm the Chess Nerd and today we're talking about the time I got humiliated my first time featured on a DGT board, which you're featured on a widescreen in tournaments. The first time I went on the DGT board. First of all, let's go to the backstory of this. 2 days ago, I posted on Instagram the first time I went on a DGT board. And in the comments section, I said, if this comment gets over 50 likes, I'll make a video about the whole game. So here we are. The comment got like 7 likes, and here we are. So I have to present my whole game. It was humiliating, but let's get into it. It's a very, very fun video. So in this tournament, I actually played Andrea Botez earlier in round 2. Comment down below if you want to see that part. So we play here, and this is, I get on the DG2 board, like I go to the tournament and we see the pairings, you know, I think the top 3 were featured on the DG2 boards, and I see I'm there, so I was like hyped, you know? And then I see, so I can't really take a picture of the thing, of the starting position, you know, at the beginning of the round. So I said, okay, I'll wait till the end, and if I checkmate my opponent, it'll be there on the DGT board and I'll take a picture, right? So here's the game I played. I was playing the white pieces against somebody who was a bit stronger than me, Adam Gizinski. He had 100 rating points more than me. So he was like 2056. I was like 1966 at the time. And this is the Canadian Open U2200 section in 2017, 5 years ago, right? So we start off, you know me, I play e4 best by test, c6, d4, and now d5, e5, so we're playing the Caro-Kann advanced variation. This is what I love to play, and I can't believe I played this 5 years ago. Bishop f5, and I still play this to this day, knight e2. After we do the French defense, you guys, I'm gonna do a full repertoire on this Bronstein variation. It's so good. So knight e2, e6, and now knight g3. We're basically hassling the bishop, trying to get it, right? And after bishop g6, we try again with h4, trying to do h5, trapping the bishop. We really want that bishop because their bishop is in front of their pawn structure. It's a super strong bishop, right? And so here after h6, we go h4, forcing the bishop back to h7. And now we can play bishop d3. So this is threatening the bishop and putting the rook in a kind of awkward spot. And I mean, if they take, which they do in the game, this is kind of theory, kind of forced also, we can take with the c pawn. And so I know usually you say don't double pawns, especially when they're kind of backwards like this, but here they serve as reinforcement and opening up the c file for our rook. This is one of the rare times you'll on purpose double your pawns. And so now knight d7, bishop e3 development, queen b6, and now here again we give a pawn. It's a very obscure opening, forgive me, but we do give a pawn. It's a poison pawn, it's called. Here we're letting in the queen take. If the queen takes, we just have rook b1. Queen can take on a2, a second pawn. And here we have rook takes b7. And here the rook would be on the 7th rank. This is a known fact about chess. You always want your rook on the 7th. And so the rook would be absolutely detrimental to the black pieces. So black doesn't take here. They play c5 instead, trying to put pressure on my weakened and kind of under-defended pawn. You see, usually in the pawn structure of the French defense, which we've seen, the queen defends on d4 normally, but here we have a pawn and a knight, so we're not defending there anytime soon. So we defend with queen g4, and now this lets us take back with the bishop. So queen b5 is played, attacking this pawn on d3. And now we have to go back on e2. Knight e7, and now we take. Knight takes on e5. So I was actually prepared during this game. I kind of remember them taking, and I remember saying, okay, I'll just play d4 and stick with this knight d3 and play probably king f1, and it'll be kind of ugly, but I'll stick in there. But they took on e5, and so I played here, and queen takes e2. I was very surprised at this too. Adam played this super quickly and should have played knight d3 in my opinion after king f1. Yes, the knight is in a weird pin, but I mean, my king is uncastled. That's gotta be a good advantage, right? So here they traded queens instead, and we went directly to an endgame. Knight c6, b4. I'm just giving a pawn here. This was on purpose. I remember this. If knight takes b4, we have some great counterplay. Actually, they did do this in the game, so let's see. Rook a b1, so we're attacking the knight and also surreptitiously attacking the b7 pawn. Knight takes a2, and we go rook b2. I don't know why I didn't take here. I think I should have. No, rook b2 is better first. Oh, there you go, says the computer. Knight c3, king d3, and now knight here. Now, finally, I think we can get this pawn here. The knight was almost trapped, so this was kind of forced. So not only are we still down a pawn, this pawn is so weak, and we're threatening knight d6. Very interesting things, right? Knight d6 kind of wins this f7 pawn. The king needs to move away from the defense here. So we have a lot of things going for us, and so they have to liberate this d6 square and cover it with the bishop, which gives the b7 pawn. And now we're equal. But are we equal though? Because I love my pawns, I love my king, my pieces are almost all developed except this rook, and black has measly development. The king's still cut off by my rook on the 7th rank, the rook defending this pawn, and this knight kind of unstable on c6. I don't like the black pieces here. And so castles along is what I missed because I thought I was completely winning in this position. I was kind of shocked and tilted during the game. So we played rook b1 here, solidifying the rook and doubling the rooks on the second file. And doubling the rooks on the b file, excuse me. f5 here, knight d6. I think I took like 30 minutes off my clock for this one. It's the best move of the position, even though it gives a pawn, because the bishop that will take this knight in the game will also leave open this wide gap on g7. And so now I played f4, which is not the best move of the position. I don't know why I didn't take on g7, to be honest, but here you go. I guess I'm leaving this a weak pawn, and I'm just going to be attacking it in the meantime. So here I have rook b7 check. By the way, this is completely a draw, says the engine, but it gets a little spicy here. Here we play d5, and I was so proud about playing this. It's the best move of the engine. d5 opens it up for my bishop, who's behind my pawn structure here, right? Not much play for my bishop, kind of passive. And so once they take, I have bishop takes a7. A little bit better, I think, was rook c7 first, attacking this knight, so I don't have to train my bishop for their unstable knight on c6. Unstable, undefended, same, right? So bishop takes, knight takes, and now rook takes. And this is winning for me. I have a little edge here. And so after g6, the big blunder of Adam. Here, I have a win. Pause the video to solve the problem. Problem of the day, pause the video to solve. White to play and win in this position. I must have taken 15 minutes off my 17 minutes I had on the clock. So I had 2 minutes left here, and I played rook a8. And this is, I mean, let the computer adjust. I think it's winning here. Last time I checked, it was winning. It's a draw. Okay, so this is a draw. No, it's winning, it's winning. You see, the computer needs to adjust, needs to calculate some things. So this is winning. So I'm still good, even though there was a way easier win. You really don't want to trade off these rooks because this rook is way superior than this one that's a passive rook. You can just bring the king up easily, and black has absolutely nothing to do, even here. So this was kind of a mistake, but it still wins. Here I played king d4, correct move, king f7, correct move, and now king takes d5, correct move, and now king f6. And in this position, Adam puts on a trap for me. A very naughty trap, and here I fall right into it. The first 5 lines of the engine say plus 100. So 5 moves. There's just one move that draws, and I did the worst move in this position, which is very fun. So in this position, pause the video to solve the problem. Once again, white to play and win in this position. I play, what do you think it is? I played h takes g6, okay? And as you see, the eval bar said nope. This is a precise draw here. After king takes, I play king e5, and I'm sure I'm winning this pawn. And now Adam shocks my whole entire being. I was expecting like h5, something like this, king here, just giving the pawn, submitting, right? And here Adam plays an absolute gem that I'll remember for the rest of my life because it was so traumatizing, king h5. And what this does is that the king is put in an auto stalemate. Look at my pawns. My pawn is taking up here, this pawn cannot move anymore, and this king has less moves than before. And it forces my next move, which is embarrassing because this was featured on all the boards. I had friends at that tournament, and of course Andrea Botez at the tournament, and I took here on f5. And this is a draw by stalemate. Very sad. The thing is, if I don't take the pawn and I do anything else, the king can move up, and this is actually losing because I'll lose 2 pawns here, and I'll have to fetch this one. I mean, after this, h5, and I think king here, and they take and they're winning. This pawn is going to queen soon, and I'm absolutely losing. So I'm forced to take this pawn, and once I do, black have no moves, aka a stalemate, aka a draw. Thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, and by the way, the funny story is the picture I wanted to take of the DGT board for my mom back in Montreal, because I traveled to this tournament by my own, by airplane, on my own. It was crazy. The picture I wanted to take, it had to be this. It had to be this embarrassing draw, because that was what was left on the screen when I exited the tournament. And you know tournament rules, no phones allowed. I couldn't take a picture when I was obviously winning. So that was super, super sad. But today it serves as a good video, I guess. I hope you enjoyed the story. And yeah, comment down below if you want the Andrea Botez story. That's also very fun from that tournament. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. You can sub if you want. If you don't, watch more of my videos and see if you like them before subscribing. Peace and love. Sending love to wherever you are. Thank you.
Go sub to the chess nerd. There we have the channel.